Thank you for tuning in to 26 Sports. It's your host, Michael Breda, and today I got a very special guest. Not only is she one of the most well known women fighters in the world, not only is she one of the most outspoken in a very positive way women fighters in the world, not only is she one of, not only is she the only ever first super middleweight undisputed champion in the world. She is the one and only HH diva Franchon Crews-Dezurn. How are you doing today?
I am here. I'm present. I'm alive, and I'm so grateful. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm getting through the days. My daughter has her first little graduation ceremony tomorrow, so I've been kind of feeling myself getting older by the moment. So,
Don't feel bad. I have my nephew. He has his high school graduation, and I remember when he was actually born, like vividly. So we're thinking,
it goes by so fast. Like I remember the day I found out I was gonna be a dad when it was on my birthday 8 years or 7 years ago, and now she's about to finish her first year of school, and I'm just sitting here like,
oh,
so
well,
yeah,
hey, it's lit.
yep, it's cool. So I'm glad she loves school. So, but let's get to you, the woman of the last couple months now, because not only did you accomplish something that you always said you would, you did it in extremely impressive fashion, and you did it for the world to see. You put on a show and then some. So first, that the way to the ring, to the fight, what were you feeling knowing of not only the event that you were stepping into, but the opportunity that you had?
Well, it's still the same crack, different toilet. Um, I was just focused, and I just literally just kept my fingers crossed and made sure I crossed all my T's and dot my I's leading into the fight, because when the fight got postponed last year, that really scarred me, because I was out there. I was transported from one city to the next to go fight. So once we stepped on the scale, I was like, all right, 95% done. That was a big deal for me. I just really focused on being present in the moment, because sometimes the moment comes so fast and we miss it.
Yeah.
So even like walking to the ring, I was rushing out, but then I had to slow down and really take in, like, you're in Madison Square Garden. You're about to fight for undisputed. Like, this is your time, bitch. So you need to walk like a boss, fight like a boss, because you are a boss.
Yeah, and you definitely did that because, I mean, I already know how you fight, and that's why so many people enjoy watching you fight. But I think it was just maybe some people thought, the moment would get you a little bit where you would come out a little more calm and chill, and you guys just started bombing away. And I mean, I'm watching it, sitting there like I tell people, I don't root openly for any fighter, but there's only a few that I will. You, Jamal Herring, are always going to be the ones that I always do it for.
Thank you.
So I'm sitting there, I'm like, get her, go, oh. And then about 5 or 6 rounds in, I'm like, man, Cederus is tough, because you were landing some shots. And I'm sitting there like, wow. And my fiance, too, she's like, they're not going to stop this fight because Franchon's hurting her. And I was like, I don't know. So she sat there and watched the whole fight with me, and
Yeah.
we're like cheering for you, just so happy. And
Well, I have to, like, this is like, I think another reason why this fight was so great is because it was competitive. Like, she will never be on my level.
Yep.
Okay, not a lot of females are on my level. But the fact that, I fought for a vacant belt, then I fought Marcella. This was, mind you, she is an elite athlete. She's
Yep.
on the national soccer team. So she knows about competition mindset. She had a whole year and some change to train. So I fought the best. And just like she earned her belt, she went and she fought former world champion from elite to semi. So it wasn't like, oh, I just fought a duck. I fought another competitive elite
Yep.
athlete at their best. So people get, I anyone else, it could have been a different story. Because not only was she physically strong, she had the mental fortitude to stay in there, bloody, battered, and everything.
Yeah.
So much props to her. And I hope people realize, like, I'm not to be fucking around with it. It levels.
Yes. Yeah, there was definitely levels there, and yeah, as you said, on an athletic level, she's been part of the national soccer team. She's done all these different things, so she knew what she was getting into, and she was ready. I mean, you guys went the 10 rounds full, and like I told people, I don't think there was a lull in the action where you guys took a break and were like, oh, we're just gonna chill out here for a minute. It was nonstop punching. Um, Whoever has seen you fight from fight one up until this one could also see your progress, because you were doing different things, and you could tell you were implementing the game plan and everything that was going on. When you were in this fight and you were landing some of those shots and you were seeing how good you were looking, because I know you had to know you were looking good in there. At what moment did you sit there and think, man, this is really going to happen? Like, I'm going to get this done.
Honestly, like you said, from my first fight, I went pro with 2 weeks' notice against the Bolt, right?
Yeah.
And this was my first time. Shout out to my manager, Peter Kahn, and shout out to my team at the Headbangers. I actually had a camp. I had a nutritionist. I actually had things to benefit me. I wasn't being, sucked dry to benefit someone else. Like, it was about me. So people got to see a glimpse of that, and also see that, okay, once you give me the tools, I'm going to get the job done. So as far as knowing the moment, I was fought desperately. Even though I was controlled, I was fighting desperately because I felt like it was a race and I had to scrap and fight to get to the end. I don't think until maybe the last round I was like, oh my God, I'm doing it. Because it's been such a long process in my career, and then also, the fight being postponed, so it was a lot going on and a lot of emotion, but I just had to stay focused.
Yeah, because like I said, from us watching, I'm like, oh, she's really doing this right now. She's got this going, and it was just like, man, she's doing what she said she was gonna do. She's putting on the show. This is it. This is what we've been waiting for, and like I said, I was so happy for you to accomplish it. But yeah, like watching it, I mean, honestly, had you not told me, I would have never thought that you were at any point fighting desperately, because you seemed to us like you were in control that whole time.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was desperate, like, oh my God, he's beating me. I was in control the whole time, but it was more so, I'm sorry, I gotta go to the Hall of Fame thing this weekend, so I'm trying to get myself ready up.
Oh,
but it was never a point of being desperate, like she was gonna beat me. I knew she wasn't gonna beat me, but it was just, you gotta understand, I had people try to take my belt from me. I had opponents switch to me at the last moment. So I was just like, I'm traumatized, so I just had to keep on and hold on to my dreams. So that was more so what I mean when I said I was desperate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because like I said, you were going, you were impressive, you were doing your thing, and I was like, man, this is what I knew you could do. So I was so happy that you were doing it, because yeah, we've been waiting for your moment, and like you said, it was one thing after another what you had to keep stopping and waiting and stopping and going, and then you got it now. Like as you said, it was finally that time that you got your opportunity and you did it.
Yeah, this is only the beginning. Like, I felt like if you look at it, it was a whole transition. It was emotion, like, oh my God, it happened, then taking it in, and now it's game time. Like, I'm that bitch, and I know that. So it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Like, now it's time to shut critics up. It's the names that I want, and keep moving forward.
Yeah. So now that it's happened, like you got that moment that you wanted, and you've accomplished it. Now that it's been a few weeks, obviously the whole event was incredible. I mean, the fight to end the night with Serrano and Taylor was also great. How has that changed, if anything, for you since that evening?
But I'm still waiting on my moment. I did my job, and it's the whole process. Like I'm still waiting on my belt. My ringside belt is with my manager. He just got back in town from Australia. I'm still waiting for my WBA belt. So I want to be humble. I want to be gracious. I haven't had a perfect opportunity to really celebrate my moment. I know it's happened. I'm still in the gym, but like as far as like having a party or doing things like that, that hasn't commenced yet. Um, but I know the sky's the limit for me now,
Yeah.
and things have changed. Like I've always been a respectable person, and people gave me that, but I feel like it's more you can't tell me nothing. I'm in the 1%. I'm in history.
Exactly, and that's the thing is, as you said, you've always been humble, you've always been gracious, but
Mm-hmm.
there's also that saying: be humble, show class, but also let motherfuckers know, like
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
did
I
that.
mean, what's funny? Even after accomplishing that and proving myself with formidable opponents, you feel what I'm saying? People still doubt me. People still
Yeah,
don't give me props. But at the end of the day, I have my name in the history books. I have the hardware. I have the respect of the top fighters. So I'm okay.
exactly. And as you said, you were the one that did it. Nobody else did it.
Yeah,
You beat people that at the times they didn't think you were gonna beat. You
yeah,
struggled through being a replacement fighter for someone who they were trying to gift the belt to, and you beating her twice. Then
yeah,
you took on someone who had taken the entire pharmacy of every local store in Texas and had her beaten as well. And now
yeah.
you beat Cedrus, who I talked with Cynthia Conte about this, and we were like, you can't really get a grasp on her, but she's tough. Like, we knew how tough she was, and the thing was, you had to be on your A game that night, because if you were anything less, I mean, you might not have won that fight, because she was there to go all 10 rounds with you.
Well, I'll give it to the fact that she's tough. I didn't even show my full arsenal. I only went to the body a couple times, and every time I went to the body, it landed clean. Like
Yeah,
she couldn't get around my jab when I decided to box. She couldn't get out of the way of the overhand, and that's like I think the more now I'm in the better place, different resources are becoming available for me. Um, I'm in a better position. People want to see a better version of me. Like I just feel like I'm getting back to me being an elite amateur condition or being just in my prime. So like say when I fight a Clarissa or I fight a Savannah or I fight a Hammer, you want to get to see different sides of me, like boxing and punching, and I just beat down.
yeah. Now, I gotta ask, because you landed so many of these right hands, overhands, straight right hands, everything. Were you surprised
Yeah.
that she didn't wobble at least or fall?
Oh, she was hurt the second round. She felt them, like, but when you're in that position, and that competition mindset that I speak about, you don't think about those things. You really can train your mind just to continue to fight, 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 no matter what. Don't stop. She was hurt, trust me.
Oh yeah, you could see she was hurt.
Yeah, but I don't go for knockout.
Yeah.
If you like your bit less punishment, I'm gonna give you a punishment. It's not my job to wonder why she's not bobbing. It's my job to beat her ass. So.
Yeah. But now, I know you had to have seen the fight since then. So when you watched it, were you like, damn, she really took those, like, because she took them, and I'm thinking, okay, at some point she's gonna fall. Her nose is bleeding. I know she can't breathe right. She's getting hit by these shots. At some point, she's going down. And no, I mean, she was hurt. You could tell, but she never went down. What surprised me, but also speaks to the toughness that we talked about with her.
Yeah, and a lot of that also is my technique. Like, um, I'm gonna focus on some different things. I hit hard naturally. I'm not trying to hit hard. I'm not trying to be super strong. That's just me naturally. But honing my technique and my skills, I'll get the knockouts. But I mean, this is a championship fight with
Yeah.
two unified champions, and if one of them just falls over, one round, I don't feel like it was worth
Yeah. I, like I said, us watching, I was like, I'm sitting there, and like I say, I don't mean to keep saying it, but I was so happy for you. Like, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, yes, I'm like, she did it, and then everybody's like laughing. I text Cynthia, I'm like, yo, she did it, like she made it, and she was like, yeah, I'm so happy, and it was just a moment. Like I tell people, I don't root openly, but I did for you, and I always will, and I was just like, man, I'm so happy, like, cause
But you gotta understand, people feel my passion, and that's what
yeah,
I think sets me apart from a lot of fighters. Is because like everybody criticizes me. Oh, you don't fight technical. You're a fighter. You're this, but I fight with this. I fight with this. I fight for a reason.
yeah,
You know, so I'm like water. Whatever I have to become, that's what I'm gonna become.
yeah.
And I'm glad people like you feel me, and that's what I do it for.
Yeah, because I think what it is too, like me seeing you, I saw your first fight with Clarissa. I could tell you it was on the Ward Kovalev undercard. So I saw you from the very beginning, and I've seen where you've come, and you grinded for your spot. You took everything that they gave you and didn't give you,
Yeah.
and you earned it. So that's why I think it's
Yeah.
like not just that you were one of the first people I spoke to and interviewed.
Yeah.
It was just the fact that I've seen you from day one to right now, and I'm just like I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you, and I just
Thank
hope you
you.
keep doing what you're doing going forward.
Well, that's what I'm here to do. I'm not here for a good time. I'm here for a long time, and I have some things I want to accomplish, like going to another weight class, winning another title, and also getting a big name. I'm a big name now, but I want to fight the other big girls.
Yeah. But right now at 168, you are the name. There's nobody else. It's you.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's you, and then these other people. Like no disrespect to them, but right now it's you because they can't say who's the WBC, who's the WBA, who's the IBF. It's Franchon all the way through. That's it. That's the only name.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's impressive. But going forward now, I know you're enjoying everything right now. I know you haven't got your belts. Like what's her name told me the other day, we ride at dawn. So if you don't get those belts within the next couple weeks, let us know, and we're gonna ride on them because I'm down.
Well, the Ring magazine belt is here. It's not here. It's in Florida with Peter.
Okay.
And then I have to get about WBA. They're working on it. So take to the virtue and we'll see.
Okay, we'll give them a little bit of time, but then we ride. We're ready. So
ready to ride.
Exactly. So now, what's the plan for the rest of the year? I know you probably want to get in at least one more fight. I'm expecting. Do you have a possible date or month in which you would like to get back in the ring?
Probably before September. I should be fighting again. And I want a name. I'm not, I've never ran from anybody, never will. But right now it's about making it work for me. Like I think I've paid enough dues that I can be stateside and fight and actually make a couple dollars. Like I really didn't get paid what I deserve for this fight that I took for Undisputed, but the risk outweighed the reward.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm in store for. I'm not ashamed of hard work, but I've paid my dues and it's time to reap the benefits.
Exactly. You've paid your dues, and it's now time for the dues to pay you, because you've done it. Yeah, exactly. So, also, you're part of this run, this legendary run that women's boxing is having this year. I mean, we have unifications, undisputed, great matches everywhere. How does that feel knowing, 10, 15, 20 years from now, because I know women's boxing is blowing up, 10, 15, 20 years, they're going to talk, looking back at 2020, 21, 22, your name's going to be one of the ones that they mention as someone that turned that up, put on shows, and was one of the key figures in getting it to where it's at now. How does that feel?
You know what? I'm not new to it. As I've been a new age pioneer and the amateurs for many years. Like I'm one of the reasons the Olympics were even installed. Because I always would dominate at 165, and then when it was implemented in 2009, I was a part of that movement.
Yeah.
So and I dominated internationally and domestically. So I've been putting in work, and I mean it's going to be a beautiful thing when
it's your time, it's your moment right now until you call it quits. But yes, definitely, it's yours. And I tell people, man, I go back and I watch the fights and the things you've done, and that video you posted on Twitter the other day, it hit me because it was like, man, you really went through all of that to that point in that moment, and once they said your name as the undisputed champion, I was like, there it is, finally, like you got the recognition and everything that you deserve. So um I'm just, like I said, I'm proud of you. I'm excited for you. I'm happy to see you back in the ring soon. Hopefully it's in California so I could get out there. Maybe even Vegas if it's out there. I could get out there. What when your next fight is?
That would be amazing. I mean, fighting in New York was like a dream come true to fight with the mecca of boxing. Because it's crazy, in September of 2021, Bernard Hopkins went up to New York. I was with him and went to Madison Square Garden to celebrate the 20th anniversary of him and
Trinidad.
Yeah, and I didn't have any idea. Like, I was going to, my situation with promoters and just everything. And to find out months later, I'll be able to make history in the same damn place. It was a match made in heaven.
Yeah, and man, that night, just the whole event, knowing that the fights of the night were the women's fights, but just the energy in the arena. I mean, when you were fighting, you could hear the screams, the yells, the cheers. It was like, these are women that are still in the show. Like, people need to recognize this and need to show the appreciation because, yeah, I mean, you've always put on the show, but it was like, this was on, as you said, the mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, the grand arena. It wasn't the Hulu Theater. It wasn't this, it was the main room. And you were putting on a show, as I said, for the world to see, not just for, here in the U.S. or anything like that. It was the world, and you sure did that.
Yeah, when they gave me the ball, I'm going to shoot, and I knew that it was very important, not just for myself, but just for my sport, and just for, I was representing.
Exactly. And in the ring with Christine, yes, we're going to call about those belts. Definitely, we will.
They get into it. Definitely, you went and checked on it. So my ring belt is cool. I'm just waiting for the WBA, and we'll be good. And I can do a fly photo shoot.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting on. I was just waiting for one of these pictures, one of these days, to show up with you holding all the belts everywhere, just posted up. I can't wait to see that.
I know it's coming. I gotta do something fly.
Yeah, of course, and you already know you can do it. Oh, so one other question though I did have, merch, anything that you have for sale that you made, I need to know because I need to get some of the HH because I'm gonna post that up and wherever I go.
Oh God, thank you. I'm actually working on that. I have a call tomorrow so I can get things rocking and rolling. I've been so used to doing everything myself. Now that I'm allocating it to different people, I have to learn to let go and trust and get it done. So just be patient with me.
Okay.
I'm working on my website and everything.
Okay, so as soon as it comes out, you already know we're gonna have it here, cause we got Jamel's clothing here, we got stuff like that. So I always support the fighters, especially the ones that I've known from day one. So again, I want to thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I know you're getting your nails done, you're getting everything done over there. Also, this one's personal for me. I want to thank you for when you reached out about my nephew passing away. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So,
it's a cold world out here, and at the end of the day, I may be pimp and all that, but I'm human first, and we all in a struggle called life. So, and it hurts to lose someone. So, you always got my love and support from that.
Thank you. Yeah, when that night when it happened, it was like, damn. And then when I woke up and I just seen all the comments, the messages, I was like, all right. And then I seen yours, and it was like, oh, like, yes. And I was telling everybody, I was like, you guys don't understand. Like, she was one of the first people I interviewed, so it hits a lot closer like that because I've known you from day one. And I'm telling people, she's on TV, she's all over the world, and she took time out to hit me up. I was like, you guys don't even know. I was like, that really feels good here. So I want to thank you for that very much. I really appreciated that, and the family did too. So Again, thank you so much for coming on today. Had to get you on again. We're gonna have to get you on before your next fight. We're gonna get you on. I'm gonna need to see all the belts everywhere before we have to make these trips out there and check these guys for the titles. But I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let everybody know real quick before we go where to follow you, where to reach you, and where to see everything going forward from here.
Okay, well, on Instagram and Twitter, it's at THEHHDIVA. Well, Facebook has me in jail right now, so I don't know what's going on. But I'm definitely on those two social media platforms, and I have a website and everything coming soon. It'll be theheavyanddiva.com, and just stay tuned.
Thank you, and for everybody else who's watched this, thank you so much. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and for everybody that will watch it, appreciate it. And of course, this is once again the hard-hitting diva, the first and only super middleweight women's undisputed champion of the world, stopping by real quick, getting fly before the rest of her week. So I want to thank you guys all for tuning in, and again, thank you for stopping by today. I appreciate it. All love, guys. See you guys soon.
All right.
All right, take it easy.